A million miles from nowhere. That's Billy Storm to swing us back from Action Central News Time. Back in the music on the Chris Kelly Show on a Thursday morning.
Yours truly,
China doll. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is Bobby Swanson, China Doll. It's a classic.
My girl is like a little pretty China doll. China doll. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
China Doll. That's Bobby Swanson here from WABB and the Chris Kelly Show. A hit of yesteryear. 26 and a half minutes now before 3 o'clock, 69 degrees from the weather tower.
We all need the Army, and the Army needs you. Go on down and see your Army recruiter today, and he'll appreciate it.
I'm sure he will. 25 minutes now before 3 o'clock from WABB, where the music sings.
yours truly, WABB.
Good guy.
Isn't that nice? These are the Highwaymen.
I'm on my way. The weekend's over. It's Sunday night. Sunday night radio.
10 minutes before 11 o'clock, swinging sounds now from Laverne Baker.
CC Rider, oh baby, I won't see you back at home.
Oh yeah.
No, no, no. I said
CC Rider. That's Laverne Baker to start here from WABB at 8 minutes before 11.
CC Rider, just see what you have done.
47 degrees outside.
Yours truly, WABB.
Help make the new year a bright and hopeful one for me. We're going to break out for 5 of Action Central News Time. We'll see you at the top of the hour for more music. Cuban prisoners are free to leave. 3 dead in Alabama. Trouble from the Congo. Chris Kelly, WABB, Action Central News. WABB News. It speaks for itself. This news is a public service feature of WABB. Anniston police are seeking 2 bandits who held up a drugstore, wounded a clerk who thought the robbery was a joke, and fled with about $500. 1 gunman remained outside the store during the robbery, while the other robbed the store after wounding the clerk and grabbing an unidentified customer as a shield after the store owner had grabbed a pistol and fired once from the back of the store. Corsica, dense fog and a driving snowstorm have forced rescue parties to temporarily call off a search for the wreckage of a French airliner that crashed with 25 persons aboard. The severe weather dimmed hopes that there will be any survivors. A New Year's holidays accidental death count by WABB News shows at least 3 persons have died on Alabama highways. The count began at 6 p.m. Friday and extends until midnight New Year's Day, Tuesday. 2 of the deaths so far were 1 vehicle accidents. The other was a boy on a go-kart who died when struck by a car. Special Agent Edwin Tully, in charge of the FBI office, says 2 men have been arrested who were wanted by area authorities. They were identified as John Calvin, 21-year-old Negro, and Felix Coleman Jr., an escapee from a Camp Loxley work detail. A Montgomery newspaper has criticized a radio television network for refusing to allow Governor-elect George Wallace to appear on a halftime show at a recent football game. In the words of the newspaper editorial, and we quote, Wallace was cut off the air as an act of censorship because of his challenge to the rulings of the U.S. Supreme Court, end quote. Wallace charges network personnel turned him away when he appeared in the press box at the Blue-Gray football game after previously inviting him to speak at a halftime game. Havana, Premier Fidel Castro says relatives of freed Cuban prisoners can leave the island as soon as the flights to Miami are resumed, but it appears there will be no quick resumption of such flights. Pan American World Airways said we can't even fly over Havana, so we're certainly not going to fly into there until everything is completely peaceful. Castro switched signals today after earlier saying relatives of the freed invasion prisoners could leave. Tokyo. Red China has warned that what it calls India's provocative activities may trigger a new flare-up in the border war. Radio Peking says India has violated the ceasefire by repeatedly going into territory from which Red troops have withdrawn. The Reds rejected Nehru's contention that Indian troops had been complying with ceasefire terms. New York City. The Green Bay Packers proved that they are still masters of the National Football League by whipping the New York Giants 16-7. Each winning Packer got almost $6,000 for his effort as a crowd of 65,000 watched from the championship game in cold and windy Yankee Stadium.
This is one of 24 award-winning Action Central reports heard today on WABB.
Blindness takes no holiday. The Leader Dog School takes no holiday. Every effort is being made to provide leader dogs for all who may be eligible. Are you interested in getting the facts about the Leader Dog program? Please write Leader Dogs for the Blind, Rochester, Michigan. Your courtesy might be instrumental in making a blind man's life happier. Mobility means everything to a man who cannot see. Please write Leader Dogs for the Blind, Rochester, Michigan, for complete information without obligation, or see a member of the local Lions Club. Another sound citizen service of WABB.
Palm Beach. President Kennedy will spend this week conferring with key White House aides in final rounds of legislative planning before Congress opens January 9th. The chief executive and his inner council will probably be joined by other top officials, perhaps some cabinet officers, for talks on next year's domestic program. New York City. The sixth victim of two confessed killers died today after two ex-convicts told New York police they committed a string of hold-up murders within 1 week. The two men told police they were responsible for the deaths of the merchants in 4 holdups in New York City and 1 in Massachusetts. New York City. Labor Secretary Wirtz and the chairman of the strike-bound shippers disagree on chances for a quick end to the dock walkout that is costing up to $25 million a day in ports from Maine to Texas. Wirtz spent much of the day shuttling between separate meetings of shippers and dock workers union spokesmen. Elizabethville. United Nations Secretary General U Thant says the United Nations forces have successfully completed their drive against Katanga. The UN troops virtually destroyed President Shambi's air force and drove what was left of his troops into the bush country. To Shambi himself, it's in southern Rhodesia where he fled last night. Earlier, he vowed he would return and lead guerrilla forces against UN troops to the very end. Thant said in a statement issued at New York City headquarters that no action would be taken against Thant if he returned to Elizabethville. Chris Kelly, Action Central.
This has been WABB News. Independent and free to broadcast all the news.
Scanning the Great Gulf South from the WABB Weather Tower, we foresee fair through Monday with scattered frost. Northeasterly winds are expected 10 to 20 miles per hour. High tomorrow 60 degrees, low tonight 35. Currently winds are clocking the north at 10 miles per hour. It's 47. That's 47 WABB degrees.
Sunday.
11 p.m.
If you're a guy who's had a gal in each and every foot.
All right, that's Barbara McNair to swing us back from Action Central News Time. Back to the music on the Chris Kelly Show for a Sunday night. It's 3 minutes past 11.
Honey, you'll be safe with Classic Day the 1st on WABB, the place to be in 63.
My hero.
All right, it's 47 degrees outside. Here's the WABB Pundexer.
Hey, hey, Paula, I wanna marry you. Hey, hey, Paula, true love means waiting and hoping that soon wishes we've made will come true. My love, my
Stella from WABB. It's 5 minutes past 11 o'clock, 47 degrees outside.
Here's a bargain in humanity that every American should find a good buy. Another Tom Citizen Service of WABB.
Remember you heard it, probably next to it a long time ago. Now's your chance to relive it with Living Radio.
Hey, remember this time last year when Jackie Wilson sang The Greatest Hurt? Well, it's a classic now. Over.
Yours truly, WABB.
That's Jackie Wilson from WABB and a song that'll live forever. It's called The Greatest Hurt. 9 minutes past 11 o'clock, 47 outside.
Stand by to win on WABB. And during the introduction of the Bossa Nova shoe, Shoe City has priced the Bossa Nova shoe down to $2.48. The Bossa Nova shoe comes in many different colors, and they're available at both Shoe City locations in Triton and Chickasaw. Get set to play the WABB countdown game and win a pair of new Bossa Nova shoes from WABB and Shoe City.
Yours truly, WABB.
All right, 10 minutes now past 11 o'clock here on the Chris Kelly Show for a Sunday night. We've got a guest here in the studio. He's been hounding me, jumping up and down and beating on the walls and stomping and screaming and yelling. He wants to get on the air and say something, so here's your chance now. You step up to the microphone here. Here's what you're going to read. Okay, you all set? Here we go.
I've got a secret and nobody knows it. Not even me.
Is that all? Well, former pick hit of the week, here's Jan Bradley.
Mama didn't lie.
That's the name.
Didn't lie. Mama didn't lie. My mama didn't lie.
Mama didn't lie.
Didn't lie. Mama didn't
Well, former pick hit of the week here from WABB. It's 12 and a half minutes now past 11 o'clock. That's Jan Bradley.
Help wanted. The Mother's March of the March of Dimes needs volunteers. A few hours of your time can mean the difference between life and death. Call your local March of Dimes headquarters and say you'll volunteer your services for the Mother's March. Do it today. Another sound citizen service of WABB.
This is WABB, Pulse Proven, #1 in Mobile. Let's sing about it.
Big and brilliant. The sound of Hi-Fi Channel 148, WABB. Yours truly, WABB. Presents the Pick Hit.
Sing along with WABB. With Happy New Year's wishes, Mitch and the gang sing.
Holiday pick hit of the week, Mitch Miller and the gang here on the Chris Kelly Show from WABB, Old Lang Syne. 15 past 11, award-winning news live at 55.
America's colleges need dollars for scholars. Nearly 500 colleges have joined in state associations and are working to get those needed dollars. Write the Independent College Funds of America, Box 2291, New York 1. Another sound citizen service of WABB.
16 past 11, this is Bouncing Bobby Darin.
Yeah, keep a walking. College keep a talking.